love, and light be unto you, gods and goddesses, divine gods and goddesses. I'd like to first start by giving honor and gratitude to my ancestors, the divine spirit of life, the cosmic elders, the universe, my archangels, my spirit guides, and my fairies, for allowing me to be a living testament. Ashe. Peace, love, and light be unto you. This is a Sabbath vibe. It's not today. Today technically isn't the Sabbath. I'd like to pinpoint that, but another story for another time. So I was sitting here thinking how many people desire to be in the shoes of other people, right? Not realizing the endurance that that person had to undergo, had to experience in order to earn their current position. You see, on this path of being an earth angel or light worker, should I say, it is split into two. It is split into two stages. The first stage that we experience is the beginning stage of our life, and this stage includes darkness. Both stages are split into two. There's darkness, there's light. The darkness phase is when we experience numerous heartbreaks, numerous traumatic experiences, numerous disloyal experiences, disloyalty, um, slander. We experience, well, we are the black sheep. We are the black sheep. So we have that experience of being disowned, and neglect, abandonment. And we go through all of these dark stages within our life, right? And these experiences prepare us to take the role of leadership, to take the role of being a teacher, a philosopher of life, in order to help humanity, which is our purpose in life, is to help heal humanity, to restore harmony within society, balance, peace, and to also lift the awareness of humanity and to share love and light. Now, in order for us to get to that point, we experience, well, let's say many like to use the phrase hell. We experience hell, but it's worse than hell. It is worse than hell. We have to go through the underworld in order to get to heaven. So we experience a lot of supernatural experiences along with this, a lot of unfairness that comes along with this. Now, many of us have been, we were victims of all that I've mentioned, including people who have played an unfair game against us using witchcraft, love spells, mind control. In our major test, our ultimate test was fairness, was to be fair, was to play the game fair. Now, many of us earth angels, when we came into this world, first of all, we are from a different star system, okay? We are from a special star system. We were placed here we are considered the fallen angels. We've fallen away from the Creator. Thus, we have experienced the life that we experience of hardship. Our major lesson, many of us, like myself, my major lesson, I was placed here to not only for not, not only the reasons that I mentioned, but also to be humble. Many life cycles. As I mentioned, I've been on this path for many life cycles. All earth angels have. So I was taught by my life experiences to be humble. Had I been the person that I was in my past life, because I did do something to receive the karma that I received, I was unjust. I was in a place of leadership, and I abused my leadership. That explains why now I do not take the fact that I'm able to. I do not take lightly the fact that I am very influential. I don't take that lightly. I don't take it lightly at all. Because that means that people are watching me. They are following my lead. You know what I'm saying? They trust me to lead them in the right direction. So I would not. It's like because of my life experiences and all that I've experienced, the injustice that took place within my life, the injustice that took place within my life, it's like I wouldn't do that to someone else because of my own experiences and because I've learned my lesson to be humble, just, and fair to everyone. So, as I mentioned, I don't take it lightly, but that was one of my major life lessons was to be humble, was to see what other people go through because there was a time when I was sitting in the position of the judge and I placed bad judgment upon families. I've broken families apart. I was very unjust. So due to this, the role split and I was now placed in a position to see what it feels like to have my family taken away from me. What it feels like to have a broken home. What it feels like to be betrayed. What it feels like to be manipulated. What it feels like to abuse my power and my abilities. So in this life cycle, that was one of my major life lessons. Fairness, balance, truth, honesty, authenticity. All laws of Ma'at. Also an energy template of which I've lived. So the first portion of our life is filled with constant hardship, setbacks, poverty, lack of love of self, deep wounding. At the end of this cycle, we all undergo a death. This is the ultimate death. It's like the last, it's not the, it is the last death. Like we continue, like we, throughout our life, we die. But this death is like that death that makes that causes that major transition, which triggers a major transition within that person in all aspects of their lives, right? So we experience the dark night of the soul in its major death at the end of the dark period, of the dark, of the darkness. And it's like from that darkness comes a rebirth. This rebirth leads to one walking down, walking in their path of becoming a teacher of life, a philosopher of life. Throughout our life, the darkness, the period of the darkness is a period where we were students. We're still students. There's so much to learn. So this rebirth leads to that person stepping into their power, stepping into their position of leadership. This rebirth leads to a reinvention of self. The rebirth is the love of self. The rebirth is the self healed. The rebirth is the self mastered, which all was taught through the darkness period of our lives. So that's where the concept come in, that there cannot be light without darkness. Light comes from darkness. 11:11, I just quote. Light comes from darkness. By the time we reach this period of ascension, it's an ascension. It's like we graduate. You know what I'm saying? It's like we graduate, we pass all the tests. This is a period where our life is, it's like, this is a period of abundance, the period of prosperity, the period of of your harvest. You know what I'm saying? It is the harvest period. While you are experiencing your darkness, you are going to experience poverty. You are going to experience illnesses. You are going to experience mental illnesses. You are going to experience um, anxiety, depression, all these things. But that darkness, throughout your period of experiencing that darkness, you are taught to heal yourself. This is why we know so much about healing, and how we learn so much about mental illnesses, and how it isn't even a mental illness to begin with, the way that society tried to portray it to be. It isn't that. Mental illness is nothing more than a imbalance in your spiritual state. If you can create your balance within your mental, your spiritual balance within your mental, spiritual, and the 3D realm, the material realm, you wouldn't have a mental illness. Also, if you purge and heal through whatever deep woundings of which you experience, your mental illness dissolves. Like it's like you beat the enemy. So mental illnesses is pretty much a simple way of saying, a simple way of saying, yeah, inner demons. So it's like you have to face those demons, which we have all faced. You know what I'm saying? So this is how we know what we know. We faced our demons. We've healed ourselves physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually from our own life experiences. We had no one to teach us. So because of this, we are self-healed, and we are able to help heal others in all aspects of their lives, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and physically. We had to learn how to use our own abilities to heal ourselves. And my situation was so interesting because I didn't even know that I was being poisoned. It's like, how did, and it's like, I did not know that I was being poisoned. I did not know that they were feeding me um all type of crap and shit when I was, throughout my upbringing. In my adult life, I would always get food. My mother's in their house sometimes, she'll send food, not knowing that I was being poisoned. You understand? And one of my physical illnesses that I experienced was, this is okay. Now this is going to another level. We're going to talk about how your physical illnesses has a lot to do with something that is imbalanced within your spiritual state. So what I experienced, here's an example. What I experienced, I had an ulcer. I experienced my physical illnesses was an ulcer, and I too experienced an ulcer. It was one. It was the STDs that was given to me by my ex-husband, Khaled Emmanuel Israel is his Facebook name. So he entered my life intentionally to infect me, but because that was not my destiny, he don't know that he played the role that the creator wanted him to play, so that I could learn how to heal myself from something that they said I had the STD HPV that they said was impossible to get rid of. I've healed myself from. So he played the role. It's like that had to happen so that I know, so that I learn how to heal myself, so that I learn my own inner powers and how powerful I am. My healing abilities, how powerful they are. So I've learned, I've I've healed myself from that. That had nothing to do with with my spiritual state. That sickness that was actually placed upon me, so that I can learn how to heal myself, and so that I can be aware of how powerful I am. Now, it was not my fate to die or to live my life infected with an STD. Thus, I was able to heal myself. Also, given that it was not it was not my it wasn't my fate, the divine stepped in as well. That's what I was talking about to y'all about, in my other video. If it's not someone's fate, if it's not someone's karma, I did not deserve that. I did not deserve, after all that I've been through, to be infected by an STD, by a bisexual man and a pedophile. That wasn't my fate. So when something occurs to someone and it isn't their fate, the divine steps in, most definitely. She never leaves you hanging. And if you think you are being left hanging, think again. Step back and view the situation from a higher perspective, because chances are you are being tested. Say that again. When you feel as if the divine and your ancestors let you down, step aside and view the situation from a higher perspective, because chances are you are being tested. The divine will not give you any more than you can handle, and that's facts. If she's allowing something to happen to you, she know that you can handle it. So with her knowing that you can handle it, she allowed certain things to happen to you, to see how you're going to respond, to see how you're going to react, to see what you're going to do. You know what I'm saying? It's all a test. So if something happened to you, like something happened to, like myself, I was infected by an STD, and that was not my fate. I was being tested. My test was learning how to heal myself. My test was not allowing that experience to turn me bitter towards other people because I was experiencing it. It's a lot I had to experience. And I passed the test in flying colors. Now, let me remember what I was saying, because I just went somewhere else. Okay, I was saying about the sickness, the physical sickness. I had an ulcer. I was experiencing a physical ulcer, physical illness, and ulcer because spiritually, I was being drained of my life force. Anyone, the ultimate, okay, here's it. The ultimate cause of an ulcer is simply someone pulling from your energetic life force. The person who was pulling from my life force was my mother. There were other entities and people that I had sexual intercourse with. Let's say my son's, my newborn's father was pulling for my life force as well. So because they were pulling for my life force, I was physically being drained, and it affected my, it caused the awesome. So that it was a spiritual warfare. It wasn't about the physical. The physical got affected because of what was taking place spiritually.